to Leading in Life. This is a show where I pull together friends, people just like you and me, who are reinventing themselves to press forward towards their highest calling. This is a show where I ask them how they got over, how they're reinventing themselves and pressing forward to see what we can learn from them and from each other in a candid and, I hope, entertaining fashion. Welcome to the show. Let's dive in. In this first episode, I talk with Jacqueline Owensby of Women in Need of Empowerment. Topic: the power of we. I'm so excited for this new series, and I'm so glad that you are here. Let me see if Jacqueline is on. So, value what matters. Those of you who follow me and those of you who follow Jacqueline and I we have lots of things in common, but we both believe it's part of our mission and our goal to support and encourage women, to empower women. And so, value what matters is all about teaching strategies and habits so we can all live the flourishing lives that God intended for us, people. So, at the beginning of this year, I had this idea. As a professor of leadership, I thought about how could we apply some of the principles of leadership to lead our lives. Think about that. A lot of times it's like we're going through life and life is leading us. But how can we lead our lives in the direction that we know God is calling us? And I'm so happy that Jacqueline is my first guest on this show. And we're going to talk to her. We're going to talk together about something wonderful that she was involved in and how that is pushing her forward. So, before I end, let me tell you, stick around towards the end because one lucky person is going to get an autographed copy of her book, 7 Days to Purpose: Lesson from the Well. And we're also going to be giving away a freebie at the end. That link is going to be in the comments. So, welcome, Jacqueline. What can I say about Jacqueline? Listen, would you believe we have never really met in person? Jacqueline and I found each other, or I would say God put us in each other's path. We were part of a Facebook challenge and we connected and we've become friends then. Her greatest joy in life is being a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. And I know that she's expecting another grandbaby soon. Praise God. She's an author, she's a Bible teacher, she's a Christian life coach, and she's the founder of Women in Need of Empowerment and a Facebook group called Stay on the Vine. I love that. Stay on the Vine. And she's also the co-founder of Ministry of Rain, a community-based faith organization created to educate through foundational teachings that build people to activate purpose. So I'm going to talk to Jacqueline, but I want you in the conversation. So this episode is entitled The Power of We. So do you enjoy working together with other women? Do you enjoy working together with other women? In the comments. So now, Jacqueline, I've read the pretty bio. Tell us, who is Jacqueline Owensby? And tell us a little bit about your journey to getting where you are today.
Okay, well, one thing has always been a constant in my life. I love writing. I journaled extensively when I was young. I wrote poetry, although I don't consider myself a poet at all. But when you're young, you're expressing yourself on so many levels in so many different ways, depending on where you are and what you're going through. And as a young girl, I wrote a lot, stacks and stacks of journals. I even had pen pals, believe it or not. I did. I had back in, I think I'm dating myself right now, but
that's all right. That's all right.
What is a pen pal? And so I still write letters to this day. I engage in writing letters. I prefer to get a letter in the mail, honestly, than a text or an email. when we're engaged in conversation. I really enjoy that. And so writing for me has been something that I've always done. I majored in English journalism for my undergrad. I enjoyed that. Although I did have this professor that informed me very soon and early in my writing career that I was going to have to dig deeper. And that was probably because I had not had any experiences that would cause me to be able to pull from that a well so deep that she was expecting me to be able to express myself from. I had no experiences at 19, 20.
Right.
However, life has a way of thrusting you into experiences. And as you grow older, you evolve. And writing has always been that one constant for me. I love to write. I'm a book nerd. Going to the bookstore, some people say doing laundry helps relax them. Does not help relax me to do laundry, but going to the bookstore, going to a bookstore where I can just be surrounded by books. I love the smell of books. I love the hard copy. Now, I'm not knocking the online. I do use Audible at times, but I'm saying there's nothing like having that book in your hand, and I just love books. Journaling, I have, oh my gosh, if you were to visit me, Kathy, you'd say, please give some away, because I constantly give journals away because I have so many. I love writing. And so that's kind of me in a nutshell. I am very big on family. I love establishing relationship. I think the relationship is very important, and I don't want to get ahead because I know we're going to go there in a moment.
Yes.
And so just a little bit about me. I teach here in my local area. I teach reading. I was a full-time teacher years ago in the classroom, not anymore. So I do reading now. I focus just on that, small group teaching, and I absolutely love it. It brings me so much joy to see the children bloom over the course of a year, going from not being able to read to being able to articulate the text on their own independently. So I really, really am a big pusher of education. A lifelong learner would probably be a good banner you could put over me.
Well, that's wonderful, Jacqueline. So what I see since I came to know you, hi Therese, who just joined us, nice to see you. Is I see where your writing has still pushed over, but where did you make that connection to? I really want to work with women, because right now your job, you're reading, you work with children. Was there some triggering event or something that happened, or did God speak to you and let you know that this was the path that he had forward for you?
So that's really interesting, because that is how it began for me. It began with me teaching young people in my church, building curriculums for different age groups, working with leadership in that vein. It transferred over to public school. Now, I thought, honestly, that that's what I was called to do. I was not going to really do much more than that. But, God sends people in your life, and they pull things out of you that you did not know was even there. And it really was me being led by Holy Spirit, because me teaching and working alongside women was nowhere at the top of my list. It was not something that I even thought I was equipped to do. But over time, by yielding to that, and it just kept coming back to it. I just kept coming back to it. It was like a boomerang. I throw this out there thinking it was a one-time deal, and it comes right back, and God has a fresh new way of showing me how to do things. And so I do understand and know that my calling, my purpose is to empower women and to equip them and to educate them on how to walk and live in purpose. I know that without a shadow of a doubt, because of the experiences God has placed in my life, because of the way he has set things up in my life. Things are divine when there begins to be a big struggle with it. And so that area
Okay,
where
so yes, we are going to talk about that. And I'm curious, because I talk to a lot of people often, and I've done a show on here. How many people who are watching, you are doing the thing that you first had the vision for your life? You are actually serving in that purpose, or you've made a shift over the time. I would like to know, because I think as we go through life, we see that shifting. And when we study the lives of so many Bible characters, we see that as well, right? Moses, from prince to shepherd to great leader. Esther,
but you know
from
what,
village
Kathy?
girl. Yes.
You know what, even in that, though, you can see the transition, that there is a preparation stage. That time in the field with the flock, you're preparing, you're learning how to organize, how to lead, how to communicate, even if it is to the animals. And so like with me, just learning how to communicate with little people transitioned into me learning how to communicate better with bigger people. But not just that, being able to target where God really wants you is important. And I know that is with women. And so it makes a difference to be able to understand what lane you're to be in specifically, because you can hear better, you can prepare better. Everything that you've experienced plays a part in connecting you to where God's taking you. I really believe that.
Absolutely. And so those of you who are listening, if what Jacqueline is saying resonates with you, have you felt that 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 point where that inflection point where you feel
Mm,
as though God is calling you to do
mm,
this thing, maybe a pivot or some kind of transition? Because as you know, as we go through life, that is what happens. And as Jacqueline said, I want to really hone in on that. You said one way that you know is that you begin to be challenged in that
mm.
area. So Cassandra said, yes, indeed. She's at that inflection point. Divine says, I'm ordained. Shifting can be fruitful. But right now, let's really keep it real. It is also challenging. So speak about what you alluded to, the challenge that you felt at, or some of the challenges you experienced in making that shift.
One of the biggest challenges is getting over the I am alone in this syndrome. Nobody understands. I'm all alone. And that can be really tricky because if you begin to think and feel that way, it's going to hinder you moving forward because you're walking out of a place of fear. The thing we need to understand as women is this, that first of all, we're never alone. Not only because God said he'd never leave us or forsake us, but because there's someone experiencing what you're experiencing, going through what you're going through, or they've already conquered it. And so we're never alone in it. And I think one of the challenges is getting over the fact that we may feel insecure about asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability is so important. I mean, you and I know that, Kathy Ann, because this is how it started for us as accountability partners. And now look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
us.
yeah,
Now look
yeah,
at us.
yeah.
Now look at you. And so, you know, it begins with asking for help. I really think when you're going through those challenges, it's sort of like this. You know, we have seasons in the year. We have 4 seasons where I live, 4 seasons in the year. And a lot of times for some people, winter is that time where you just shut down. You're not interacting a lot. You don't feel like anything is happening. And you begin to go into your inside yourself. As a matter of fact, some doctors have shared that that's one of the times of the year where people get really, really low and depressed and
Mm-hmm,
they're not
mm-hmm.
productive. I was talking with my doctor not long ago, and he was sharing his concerns about COVID and everything that's going on with people. And I said, but you know, for me, winter is one of the most productive times of year for me. I really enjoyed winter. It's not my favorite season, but I enjoy that time because I'm preparing. Is it challenging? Absolutely, it is challenging. But that is a time where I can quiet myself. So if we look at the earth just in the transition it makes through every season, we're going to go through transitions in our lives. We are going to experience, and we're going to experience highs, we're going to experience lows, we're going to experience those valleys. But let me tell you something, Kathy Ann, and everybody that's listening, because I can't see all the names right now, but let
Yes,
me tell
yes,
you
yes.
something, sister girls. I have learned that this valley season, and in most valley seasons, this is true. In this valley season that I've been in, I have learned that you can still produce.
Yes.
You can still produce because guess what? There is always something going on beneath the surface. We didn't see the buds during the winter months, but look, I got on my car the other day when I was entering into the school building, and I see buds blooming all over the trees. In my backyard, there are buds about to burst open. So this has been occurring all along. We just didn't see it with our natural eyes. And so this walk takes courage, and it's all about exercising your faith, walking by faith and not by sight. Do you know how many times I've had to tell myself that?
Oh, girl, preach it. And I'm glad that you you're keeping it real because
Oh,
I
yeah.
what I hear you saying, it takes courage. It takes asking for help and accountability and continuing to believe in yourself. Cassandra said, COVID has been my most productive season. Listen to me, Cassandra. Actually, I got the feeling for a blog that I'm going to write next week called Things We Lost and Found During the Pandemic. right?
Oh, wow.
Because I think there's a lot of need there. But Jacqueline, let me tell you, honestly, it has been a blessing working with you, and I have done a lot of work with women, and there are some real challenges at times. Sometimes because of our past experience, because because and also let me say because we are broken, sinful
Yeah,
individuals.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Bible says
yeah,
the human heart is deceptive. Who can know it, right?
that's right.
So there's been a lot of talk about sometimes women are not often willing to help other women for various reasons.
Yeah,
And so let's talk about maybe, is that really true, or is it a myth? Is it a reality? And for those who are in the chat, what has been your experience reaching out to other sisters and asking for help? How has that worked for you? And Jacqueline, let's talk about that for a bit. Let's
yeah.
set up tent here for a while, because I know there are lots of misconceptions and there are lots of myths, and people, we need to get this straight. Go ahead, Jacqueline.
Okay, listen, that's good. I'm glad you asked that. That is good. Now, I want you guys to really drop in the chat what it is. I'm looking at two different screens. What is it that you have experienced in working with other women? Why have we got to a place where we find it challenging? What were your challenges? Drop it in there. We want to talk about that. If not
Yes.
now, even after the
Mhm.
live is over. And I want to thank each of you for tuning in. I know I haven't called out some names, but I just, Kathy, I want to just thank you guys. I see some of the women here from the collaboration. I'm so blessed that you're here. I even see my better half here, Raven Owensby. My husband has popped in here
What?
to check us out.
You're very
Listen,
welcome. You are very welcome. Yes.
listen, the challenges that we face. Why is it a challenge? That's the question on the table, right, Kathy Ann?
Yes.
I believe it is deeper than just we don't get along as women. Because, see, I don't buy that for a moment. One thing I always would say whenever I was hosting an event, a live event, I would always start off somewhere in the beginning by saying, let's go ahead and dismiss all of those things that you pushed in your head when you saw that woman walk in the door. Because you
Oh.
know what you did.
Oh.
You sized her up
You
from
did not
head
go
to
there.
toe.
You did not go there.
Yes, I did. That is what you did. You created an opinion of her based on how her hair was, based on how her makeup was, based on what she was wearing, based on what handbag she was carrying. You created a whole image of this person that may not even be true. And it's very important that we dismiss those myths, we dismiss those things that have been crowding us that are negative thoughts. Stinking thinking is what they call it about women. One thing we have in common, if we don't have anything else in common, we've got the fact that we are female, we are women, we are daughters of the king. So we've got that in common. That's a lot. I believe one of the major issues, though, just to be real, don't anybody chop my head off. I really think, and somebody please be honest, because you know you can relate to what I'm about to say. So somebody in
Yes.
the chat has my back. Insecurity.
It's true. It's true.
Insecurity. We as women, let's be real, we're insecure. We put makeup on to hide things. Now, I've never been a big makeup person, but I was told one year that I needed to put a little makeup on around certain areas on my face when I'm before people. I was never a big person with makeup. Now, I'm not saying we all do it to hide things, but we do it because of this image we want to portray. We want to look polished. We want to look cleaned up. We want to be presentable. But I believe the deep, deep thing in all of that as to why we struggle sometimes to really connect and to get along is because of insecurities.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree. And I think we need to name it and claim it. I
Yeah,
think a lot of things don't happen because we are not ready to talk about the elephant in the
yeah,
room. And I want
yes,
to talk about it because the Bible says that a cord of many strands is not easily broken. There's
that's
the
right.
African proverb that says, if you want to go far, walk together. If you want to go fast,
That's right.
if you want to go far.
You
And
gotta
I got to tell
be
you,
together.
so you say insecurity, you
Hmm.
say preconceptions that we have for each other. And there's a
Hmm.
wonderful article, which I'm going to put in the link afterwards. It's on Forbes. It was published in Forbes 2020,
Yes,
Why Women Do Not Always Support Each Other. And I got to
yes,
tell you, Jacqueline, I've reached out to quite a few women because I'm pivoting, and you were one of the first who really followed through.
Wow.
And I'm serious. I don't know. I've reached out because you were ahead of me in terms of trying to make this pivot into social media. I've reached out to influential women and crickets, crickets. And I know we're all busy and everything,
Yeah.
but I do believe, and from what I've learned, sometimes there is this threat of competition,
Yes.
this threat of
Yes.
how many followers do you have versus how
Yes.
many followers do I have? Is your book doing better than mine? Are you, and listen,
Yeah.
I know some people in here, are you ahead in your dissertation than I am, right? So
Uh-huh.
Brenda,
Uh-huh.
if you're there, I'm sure you've seen that in your cohort. And as
Oh,
I was
yes.
preparing, I wanted to share this with you, Jacqueline. I was impressed to share this with you because I think it's going to help somebody. Because I think the first thing we need to do is recognize that these feelings, these insecure feelings, are normal. It's part of
Yes,
our brokenness.
it
And I don't want to
is.
put myself up above you. So, Jacqueline and I were trying to get on YouTube, right? And we said, we need to do this together. And Jacqueline was encouragement to me. And I started trying to get to 100. And I told Jacqueline, here's what you need to do to get to 100. Do this, because when you get to 100, you get your own name. And I told you, so I had like 70 or something, and then Jacqueline had 12. And then wait a minute, I saw Jacqueline was going ahead of me. And I started to feel away. Do I have a witness? I am telling you, I started to feel away. I was like, oh no, she didn't. She didn't jump ahead of me. And I told her, but let me tell you, I recognize that in myself. I
Hmm.
recognize that in myself. And I
Yes,
said,
that's
listen,
real talk, Kathy. That's real talk.
real talk. I said, listen, if Jacqueline gets to 100, praise God, because we are both in the ministry to minister to women. So you get off my shoulder, you devil. I'm not going to do that. And I began to celebrate Jacqueline. I began to pray her up. And I'm telling you all this because I think the first thing is that we are not real about it. Happens to everybody.
Yes, yes, it
And
does.
so I
That
wanted
is
to
so
tell you
powerful.
that. Yes.
Thank you. It really did bless my heart. That's so powerful because do you know how many times we actually are walking around carrying those things, but we are too embarrassed to just be real about it. One thing I love about when women gather and we create this safe space, be it in a private Facebook group or a quarterly gathering that you may be having or seminars you may attend with your sister girls, we are creating a safe space so that we can share and be real just like you were. And so
Yeah.
there's no need to feel, I am my own competition.
Yes.
I'm my only competition. You know, there have been things that you have shared with me about how to finesse and fine tune these wonderful YouTube videos. Girl, I'm so not there. I'm so not there. Honestly, and the truth is this, I love it when I see it, but I don't really care. And so I said, see, because my attention is really not focused in that, it's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what's not okay is for me to carry, I feel some kind of way because I'm not able to do that. But you can do it. All you have to
Right.
do is open your mouth and ask. Now, I so relate and understand what you're saying, Catherine, when you talk about reaching out and getting crickets. That is one of the most horrible feelings. And what that does to us as women is it says, I've been rejected. Do you know how many women deal with rejection? I'm
Mm-hmm.
one. I'm one. I
Yeah.
struggle with it still even today, and I'm 55 years old. Let's say that out loud. 55
Yeah.
looks good on me. So
Praise God.
listen, so listen, I still struggle in those areas. It's so important that we understand. I love what you said. You said, name it. Name
Name it.
it. And then
Absolutely.
rebuke it and tell it to get off of your shoulder. The truth is this, ladies, we need each other. I am only as strong as the weakest link that I am connected with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're joined together. I'm only as strong as you are. You're only as strong as I am. There is no competition because we all are headed in the same direction to the same finish line. And guess what? No one's going to take your space because your space is your space.
Your space, God's got it for you. And
Right?
the reason I really wanted to share that is because I know that if I experience that, and I'm not putting myself above everybody, I think it's a
Sure.
common thing that happens to us, and we don't confess it and we
Yeah,
don't deal with it. And the way that I dealt with it was I began to celebrate Jacqueline. I
that's
began to
right.
pray for her. I
That's right.
began to fake it until I made it, to say, God, you bless my sister, because this ministry is not about her and it's not about me. It's about you.
That's right.
And and it's been a wonderful thing. And so I think we spent quite a bit. Of course, we can spend a lot of time on this, but I think
Yeah,
the point is, which I hope you get, is that working together, we can go far. And I have seen
exactly.
that Jacqueline has helped me figure out how to do PayPal. I had no idea. I've helped her figure out YouTube.
Yep.
And right now, I am doing a 40-day prayer fast. Jacqueline
Mhm.
recommended a book to me, and it has been a blessing.
Oh, I
And
love that
so
book. I love that book. You got
together,
to share that.
I'll share that. Together, we are helping each other. And so, Jacqueline, tell us about this collaboration that you were just involved in and just
Okay.
some of the most meaningful things in that experience for you.
Okay, sure, sure. The one thing I want to say is this for us all too. If you don't walk away, we're going to share a lot of things. There are going to be freebies. There are going to be some
Mm-hmm,
links for more freebies, and
mm-hmm,
that's wonderful. I love freebies. But one thing I want you guys, as my sister girls, to just clearly understand. I read also in a Forbes magazine article, Forbes article that, and I can't remember the woman's name. I think I may have written about it in my last e-newsletter for wine. So if you get the wine newsletter, go back and reference this quote
mm-hmm,
because I'm going to paraphrase it. There is a special place in heaven for women who come together and support one another. You got to believe that. You got to believe that because we are literally the apple of our Father's eye. I mean, he created us, he made us with purpose, on purpose, for purpose. There's nothing that we cannot do. When we decide to come together as women, think about it. We are probably, and I'm just guessing, one of the biggest consumers out here,
mm-hmm.
women. And so when we come together and make up our mind about something, not only does our community change, our family change, our household change, the world begins to change. The economy will begin to change based on our coming together and getting it done, whatever it is. And so this collaboration that I was so tremendously blessed to be a part of, it was actually from a previous mentee who has superseded me in her writing. I mean, she's doing outstanding work. She's a brand new educator. She's doing wonderful. I don't even know if she's up here. Her name is Cassie. You guys go check out Cassie Whitlow. She has numerous books out now, urban fiction. Well, I don't think she calls it that. I think it's more like Christian fiction, inspirational
Mm-hmm.
fiction. Check it out. She actually introduced me to Stacey Hawkins Adams, and she introduced me to that group. And so I became a part of the focused writers group. And let me tell you, it is phenomenal. Now, I had the information for I don't know how long, had it been for over a year maybe, but I never acted on it. I never moved on it. You want to know why? I was intimidated. Can you believe that? It doesn't take a lot to intimidate me, but yeah, I was intimidated. I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to enter into this space where these phenomenal women are existing and they're doing great things and they're
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
out here making moves, big moves. And I want to be that woman too, Lord. And so I'm like, here's little old me going to pop in this group. I didn't know what I had to offer, but let me tell you, there is a wealth of information among us as women. The biggest thing I've learned and gleaned is that there is safety in numbers.
Mm-hmm. There is.
And I am going to be able to not only bring something to the table, but I'm going to be able to sit back and glean all of this wonderful, enormous wealth of info that these women from all types of genres. I mean, you got women from, I'm in my 50s, you got women, I think, over 70 in this group. You've got
Wow.
women in
Wow.
their 30s in this group. So can you see how balanced that is? And so these women have come together and they decided to do this collaboration. And honestly, I think I came in at the midway point and was able to be a part of creating something that I know without a shadow of a doubt is going to transform the way women see themselves. Now, the book title is On Womanhood, and it's Connecting and Thriving in Every Season. And we'll talk about that later. But what I want to tell you guys a little bit is that it's a collection of essays. And guess what? You get to hear from these women who span all seasons of life. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your wealth comes not in you going out and doing the work, but you could pick a book up and you could glean so much from that it launches you right into your next, because you got everything right there at your fingertips. So being with this group of women, I got to actually meet them during the holidays before the new year. I was so excited. I got to meet them, a group of them, and we got to sit and have lunch. And just the beauty of fellowship and their heart. These are sincere. Do you know, guys, I'm learning at this age in life, because, once you get over 50, nonsense goes out the window. Um, it's true. It's true. I'm learning that it's really okay to be authentically you, and people are going to like you.
Actually, I have come to realize that that is where our magic is.
Yes.
I am not you, you are not me. That's what God has destined us to do, to really be authentically ourselves and bloom into that season. And I love what you said about women getting together, different ages and
Mhm.
experiences. One of my older friends, she told this to me and I've never forgotten. She said that every person, and this ladies, every person should have two kinds of relationship. You should have a relationship with a child, somebody who's much
Yes.
younger than you,
Yes.
because
To
they help you
mentor.
to keep the wonder and magic in life, because
Right.
we can become very jaded, and then
Yeah.
you need to have somebody who's older
That's
who can
right.
help you
Yeah.
reach for the things that you don't know of. So Jacqueline, I know the book was launched this week. How is it going, and what has been the response, what even among the authors?
Yeah. So see, I can't stop smiling every time you ask me something about it. I'm really trying not to smile this much, but I'm so excited because, guys, this truly was birthed during a very hard time in my life. I'm in this valley and I'm like, God, if you don't loop me out of this thing. And so last year when this thing happened, I was at a point where I was about to really just shut everything down. I'd spoken with a sister girl who used to help me a lot in ministry, and she said, oh no, ma'am, we're not doing it. So I tell you what you can't do, I'm going to come in now and I'm going to come alongside you and help you. You focus on that assignment that you have.
Mm-hmm,
Bless
mm-hmm.
my heart tremendously. And so being able to be a part of this has just ignited me on a whole different level. My view of women has completely shifted, where I've always felt like it's a constant give from me. Like I'm not really getting anything in return
Uh-huh.
other than, you feel like you're getting weak, you're getting, you're worn out. Oh, no, 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 no. Because when you are surrounding yourself with the right people, it's the right time and the right season, and you're going to get what you need. And so we came together, got the essays all together. Everything that was done. This is so important and exciting. I'm thinking things so fast I can't get my brain to slow down. Everything that was done and that was needed to be done for this particular work was already in the house. Do you guys know what I mean when I say that? The illustrator is from the group.
Oh wow.
The editors are in the group. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, it has been a phenomenal experience to see these gifts at work. And so from what I'm told, now we have a meeting in a few days, and you're going to hear about it because I'm going to post it. The book is doing wonderful. We're already getting reviews. I'm already getting feedback from women who have ordered and they went to read the actual little snippet, the look inside. You get to read a little portion of it. I think maybe the introduction and maybe maybe one of the essays. And so I've gotten some feedback from this woman. She actually was my mentor in school, and just talking about how excited she is about what's to come. She hasn't even gotten the book yet. And so the feedback has been phenomenal. I'm so excited. What's important is this week, though, this week is very important for us with the book. I'm glad it's doing well. The sales that are made this week is what's really going to help us be positioned better on Amazon. Not only that, we are given 100%. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. We're given 100% to the YWCA. That's an organization that believes in empowering women. And that's what we're all about. Do you see how you can be on a path that God has given you, and you can be linked up with the right people, and God will bring new things and new ideas and dump them right in your path. You don't have to go looking for it. You're a magnet for success. And that's what I'm learning now. You're a
Right.
magnet and when I say success, I'm not just talking about only with the dollar bill, because I just said we're giving 100% of the proceeds to the YWCA. We got Women's History Month coming up in March as well. And so we're being a part of the community, making change where we live, impacting change in our own neighborhood. That's what this is all about. You better believe that's going to come back 100-fold to everyone that sowed in that area. You just got to know that. Sorry, Kathy, I
Thank
know I
you.
got excited.
That's okay. That's okay. You said so much. I was trying to take some notes, and I wanted to touch on some points that you raised.
Okay.
One of the things that she mentioned, and again, when we come together, we are able to benefit from the gifts of different people in the group. Now, so I, this is my passion, but in my full job, the one that pays the bill. I'm a
Yes.
professor, and I'm actually getting ready to do a book, and I could not have done the book. It's a co-authored book. I could not have done the book as quickly and as efficiently without that group of women. So I am telling you, if you're listening, if God has placed something on your heart, if you want to go far, go
Right.
together. And that's what she's saying. They
That's
had their
true.
illustrator, they had this, they had whatever. It's because of my two other co-authors that this book that I'm doing is coming out. The other thing that you said that really resonated, and I wanted to tell you here, we also have to support each other. Can I say
Yes.
that again? We have to support
Yes.
each other. This is a book by women for women.
Yes.
Get a copy. If the proceeds are going to support women, or buy one for a friend, think about it as a gift for Mother's Day or for Women's History Month. Let us support each other. It takes so much work and so much effort, and it takes all money, right?
It
It takes
does.
money to get an editor, to get all of that. So
Yes.
consider getting a copy. So I love that. So Jacqueline, this is a good segue, because I can see it on your face when you talk about it. And I know I have experienced it. We are accountability buddies. We meet every month virtually.
Yeah.
And I can see the energizing, how this has energized you. So if you were to offer 3 or 5 practical pieces of advice to women who are thinking about walking into their calling, and we're saying to them, there is power in we.
Yes.
There is power in we. What advice would you offer to them?
That we is a powerful pronoun, and really it's a collective. When you think about we is all about relationship. We is
Yes, it
about
is.
relationship, ladies. We is all about relationship. It's all about understanding that we are not an island to ourselves. God is a God of relationship. And so relationship plays a big part in how far we're going to go. That's just the bottom line. I'm not going to be able to do it by myself and in
Yep.
my own ability. He gave us relationship for a reason. And you even mentioned it before when you talked about the 3-strand cord. It's not easily
Yes.
broken.
Yes.
And so if I were to give any type of nuggets of truth or wisdom, it would be, first of all, we need accountability, ladies. Accountability is so important right now. Think about it. We've been through a major pandemic. We're still in it. People have been isolated. People have been cut off. We've lost loved ones, friends. And so it's so important right now that we establish some type of lifeline. That's what accountability is for me. Now, you can define it the way you want, but for me, accountability is a lifeline, and we need that lifeline. That's number one. Number two, now, I don't know if everybody up here loves sweet Jesus like I do, but I'm going to
That's
say
all right. That's all right.
you got to cover it and lace it with prayer. You got to be a
Yes.
woman of prayer. Prayer keeps me sane, even on my worst days when I lose it, because if you know me real well, you know there have been some days for me. But listen, having that foundation of prayer with God first, that relationship with Him first, it makes life a little bit more tolerable. So accountability, prayer, And then one thing, ladies, is so important for us to understand. You can talk about it. You can write about it. You can dream about it. You can do 50 vision boards about it. By the way, I'm still working on my electronic vision board.
Yeah.
Listen, you can do all those things, but if you don't take action, not,
Action.
not one thing's going to happen. You have to take action. You got to have enough courage to put one foot in front of the other. I read this quote. Well, I've often read it, and I'm going to paraphrase it. It's by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He talks about not being able to see the entire staircase, but being able to see the step in front of you. All I need to really see in the natural, ladies, I'm talking about in the natural, is that next step. What is my next step to make this goal manifest? What is the next step? Not what I got to do down the road, not how many steps is going to take to get me there, but what is my next step? Now, the next step could be, for some of us, it could be just start the newsletter. Sit down, sit your hips in the chair, and write a paragraph.
Right.
It could be I need to get my business license. Go downtown to your local office and ask them what you need to do it. Look, Google is your friend. Google it. They'll give you an
Right.
entire list. You know, talk to
What
someone,
is, yes.
someone who's got it, and they'll tell you what to do. I mean, but your next step may not look like anyone else's, but what's important is that you take the next step. For me, with this collaboration, it was actually joining the group. I mean,
Yes,
come
yes,
on.
yes.
It was connecting with the women. It was having some relationship challenges, maybe, but understanding that this is a good place for me. I'm going to grow and learn. And sometimes, guys, growing and going through the process of growth does not feel good. But the beauty in it is not just what I am going to receive, but the lives that are going to be changed and transformed. That's what this is all
Lovely.
about. Doing what you do is really not for you. Doing
No,
what
it
I do is
isn't.
really not just for me. Get that. It's not just for me. It is all for his glory, and it is so that I can impact my world, my sphere of influence for the better. That's what this is all about, ladies. And I want to even give you a call to action. And I'm not talking about just ordering the book or getting the book. Yeah, I do want you to do that. But this is more personal. I want you at the end of this video to sit down and ask yourself the question, what is my next step?
Step. I know, I see some people writing it in the chat, and I'm going to read a few here. I see Cassandra said, Jacqueline, you need to share with the electronic vision board. Actually, I am actually thinking about doing a workshop on that in my Christian Women Leading in Life, because I've done both the hard copy and the
Yes,
one on Canva, and I think
yes,
it's so easy, and so we're going
it
to
is.
do that. And then
So
I
Kathy,
see
you
what
actually,
is my
Kathy,
next step? Yeah, what's my next step? Somebody asked. Yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah, if I could just throw this in there while you're reading, I want to throw this in there. You know, guys, I attended a workshop group with Kathy, and just, was that last week?
I
A
think
week
so.
before last?
I don't remember.
I
Yeah.
forgot. But she actually, women were sharing their electronic vision boards. Now, I made a note to do one just based on conversations I've had with
Mhm.
Kathy, but I didn't do it. But I still went to that session.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
attended and I got to see how beautiful it is. So I hope that Kathy would, maybe you can do something again really soon and we can
I
share that.
want to. Actually, I
Okay.
want to invite people to come to a session where I'm going to show them how to do it, because if you're not familiar with Canva, it could be a
Canva.
little intimidating, but it's free. You can do a free account and we can do it. But Jacqueline, we're running out of time, and I want
Okay.
to really, you made so many critical, important points that I want to get back to it. You talked
Okay.
about what is next for you, reaching out, finding accountability, and prayerfully searching for those groups. I want to add to that, because we're not just doing this because we don't have something to do on a Friday, okay? We
You're
are
right.
doing this because we are women of faith. I pray that the right people would be in this room today, and also that Jacqueline and I would not speak our own words, that God would give us a special anointing, because there's something that God has for you to do. And you know what I've discovered, Jacqueline? I've discovered that we cannot fully be transformed into what God wants us to be individually. It happens in community. And here's why. because in community, you get to see yourself. The heart that I talked about that is deceitful and wicked, and you have to come to God and ask Him to transform you. And that is how you begin to become what God has wanted you to be. So in community, with all the trouble and the jealousy and the competition and all that, we need to deal with those, because that is how we are going to be transformed into what God wants us to be in community. She talked also about taking action. Sometimes not only do you have to take action with your feet, but sometimes you have to take action with your pocketbook, right?
That's so good.
Sometimes you have to buy a book. I just joined Interested Women University because I recognized that here was a group of women of color who are trying to become communicators for God. And I needed, she talked, to surround myself with women who were in the same mission with me. So not only do you have to say, let me find a freebie here, but you have to take action sometimes with your pocketbook. You do? So those are some of the things. And then prayerfully ask God to lead you, to surround you to the woman who you need to be around to nurture that gift in you, really prayerfully. And you know, we exist in a great time. Like I told you, Jacqueline and I met on Facebook, and I am so grateful for this sister. I mean, we talk about social media and all the bad of it, but it's just a tool. It is just a tool. You can use it. You can join a group and find women who are on a mission similar to the mission that you are on. So, Jacqueline, we're almost at the end of this session. And before we go, I want to tell you, we have a few more questions, but the way we are going to do the raffle for this book, which Jacqueline is going to autograph and send to the person, is I want you to choose a number between 1 and 50. And I have written my number here, and I'm going to show you at the end, 1 and 50, and put it in the chat. And whoever is closest is going to get the book. So, Jacqueline, as we wrap up with the last couple of questions, tell me, what books or top resources or apps would you suggest, you know, maybe to someone who's thinking about going forward? I know you
it's
have
a lot. I know. I'm gonna narrow it down though. I'm gonna narrow it down. I really am. I'm gonna tell you who's my friend right now. Canva is my friend. Canva. When I first got Canva, you know, it stemmed from that group we were in, Kathy, and when we first met. I had it, but was not using it. I said, I'm going to write it off. It's too challenging. Duh. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I use that for everything now. Any type of marketing that I want to use, I use Canva, not only for just the images, but you can write your book in Canva.
Yes, you can.
Canva's going across boards. It's friendly with KDP. It's friendly with Constant Contact. Constant Contact is an email marketing tool that I use. That's how I do my newsletters, ladies. So if you're trying to build that email list, Constant Contact is offering great deals. And you know, if you want to know how to do that, if you need some training or you want someone to kind of coach you through it, you know, just contact me, inbox me, or reach out to me through Stay on the Vine, the private group, or email me. You can go to stayonthevine.com and get all my information right from there. And then I can give you some more insight. As a matter of fact, if you go to my website, you'll see information up there for Canva, for Constant Contact, and other freebies as well. Now, these are things that's not gonna, I agree with Kathy. Kathy is you're gonna have to make some financial investment in some things. Oh, it's just a fact. Don't think, sisters, that just because we're giving you things away right now, this setting, that's not how the world rolls. That's not what makes the world go round, is me constantly seeking free. Think about it. When you're in business for yourself, you don't want that sister girl to demean you by coming to you and asking for free all the time. Ladies, we got to get beyond free. Listen, even scripture tells us that you reap what you sow.
Right.
And so I believe in giving. I am a giver. And so I expect it to come back to me. So what am I giving? I'm going to give of my finances, my time, and my gifts and talents. I know it's going to come back. So Canva, Constant Contact, those of you who may be thinking about trying to get your book out there, I have a course, a mini course on my website. If you just go there and look around, you'll find it. where I coach you through a 3-day session on how to get your book wrapped up in a neat little bow. And it's just a jump start, just to get you in the process of doing and getting something manifested here in your hands. So I love Canva. I love Constant Contact. They are my biggest friends right now. But Kathy Ann, I'm gonna flip this back to you because I got a question I want you to share with them, because you know I can't remember it. What is that one? What is one of the tools that we're using? Because so many talk about, oh, I really was thinking about doing YouTube, but I don't really know how. What is that tool that's used, that you've been using to create the intro, or to use as a prompter to kind of help things look a little more smoother?
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. And we're talking mostly because we're trying to pivot into social media. So some of the things Jacqueline mentioned, your husband wrote Canva Rocks. In fact, I signed up for the pro version. And this morning, my daughter had something to do for school. She's been homeschooled. And we use Canva. I said, that's the best $100 I ever spent. It charged $100 a year. The free version is free. She was able to put together a newspaper. It was kind of like a make book, and it looks so wonderful. So Jacqueline and I are doing YouTube. One of the things I have found, we're both talkers, so most of the times I don't have to read a script when I'm on here, but there's a free app called Teleprompter. If you want to do videos and you don't want to be like this, it brings up the words on the screen slowly. So, and it's positioned where you should be looking at the camera. And I also want to mention, just broadly speaking, this is the book Jacqueline recommended to me. Give me 40 days. Listen, everything, I have just become more and more impressed. Whatever you are doing in life, the psalmist is right. Except the Lord builds it, they labor in vain. I see Jacqueline there. And so the place to start, if you feel yourself on that point where you want to pivot, or you're thinking about what community of women should I surround myself in, the first place you need to go, the first work you need to do is on your knees. On your knees, and seek discernment about next steps. So those are some things that I am using right now, and Jacqueline and I are using right now to just move forward. And then, well, what about you? In the comments, tell us a book or something that a sister needs to read to lead her life. And Jacqueline, so before we go, tell us, where are you in your current journey, and how can people continue to connect with you? And I don't want to forget to do my raffle. So remember, put your numbers. Raymond, you cannot put a number. Just joking. So let's see what those numbers are. I see if somebody else wants to be eligible. When Jacqueline is finished speaking, I'm going to show my number. So where are you? What's next for you? And where can we connect with you?
So you can connect with me at stayonthevine.com. There, I am also on IG. Now, that's the website. It'll take you to everything. If you just go to the website, you can find me there. A link for Facebook, for Twitter. On Twitter, I am Coach Jackie O, or I am Jackie O. I'm sorry, I changed that recently. On Facebook and most others, I like IG. I'm just Jacqueline J. Owensby. So it's very easy to find me. I mean, I don't use any code names, so it's easy to find me. Also, ladies, the thing is to stay connected and really get the bulk of what's happening and what's going on, the resources. Like we talked about a lot of resources here at the end.
We talked about a lot, yes.
So we did. So all you need to do is subscribe. It's a free newsletter. Go to stayonthevine.com. A neat little box is going to pop up. Click subscribe, pop your email in there, and then you're going to get things like this on a monthly basis. Not only that, events that are going on online, that's where I communicate that to those subscribers. They get that information first. If I'm doing any type of freebies or anything like this that's going on, they usually get that information first.
Wonderful. I see my friend Pastor John Scott is on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And he is in Canada. So good to see you. We're just wrapping up, but so much wonderful information we shared today. I just to tie the bow on this gift. I think what we are saying is that based on what we believe, a Christian worldview, the Bible teaches us that we become our best selves in community. There is power in we. We're also saying that to really mature in our Christian walk, it happens as we navigate our brokenness with broken people in community. And what that means is they're going to rub you the wrong way. You're going to feel a way sometimes. They're going to feel a way sometimes. But that is the opportunity when if we're able to acknowledge the green monster, jealousy or envy or what have you, if we're able to acknowledge that and bring it to God, He can do His transforming work in us. So, ladies, this has been so wonderful. There's so many things. Let me show you the number. The number, those of you who came in late, you have 30 seconds to write a number 1 to 50, because I'm about to show. Oh, I saw one number already. I'm just looking up here to see the closest number, and I think I know what it is, but 1 to 50 if you want to enter into the raffle to get that autographed book from Jacqueline Owensby. So I am going, no more numbers.
Okay.
No more numbers.
Okay.
I'm going to put
no more
it up
numbers.
now. Anybody else wants to put in a number? Okay, so the number is
So the winning number is 38.
My number was 38, but Gladys had 31. So that's the closest number. So please direct message Jacqueline with your email, with your address, and she's going to send you a copy of that book. Jacqueline is also going to put in the comments a link to a freebie that she has that will get you on the road to purpose. So that's going to be available for you. What else do we have? If you're interested in being a part of a community of women who are interested in leading flourish in life, head over to Christian Women Leading in Life. And very soon, just based on this conversation and what I was thinking about, I'm going to be hosting a Zoom session where I'll walk you through how to do that digital vision board. And the Canva app that we'll be using will be free. It will be free. I have the pro version, but you can do the free version. So is there anything else, Jacqueline, you'd like to say before we go? I want to just thank you, sister friend. I want to thank you, and I want to speak God's blessing over your life and over this book, and that it will truly accomplish His purpose in the lives of everybody who read it. I am so grateful for you and grateful that you joined us today. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I am. I'm so blessed, and I'm so appreciative of you. This has been a wonderful, wonderful union that God has brought us together. I call it a Holy Ghost hookup for real. And I am just really, really so thrilled at what He's doing. I am always, always honored to be a part of whatever God is doing in the lives of His daughters. And yes, we talked a lot, gave a lot of details about things, but this is the real, ladies. If you're in a season of your life and you're feeling stuck and alone, you should know by now that you're not. If you know someone that's feeling stuck and alone, you learn today that you're not. We talked a lot about community, about the power of we. We is all about relationship. So listen, if you need to connect, Kathy Ann can drop in the comments the group. Actually, I put her group link in my Stay on the Vine group often. So you guys go there and look for that. I'll put it in there again today. There are so many resources out here of genuine women who want to really see you do well. So I encourage you and give you this call to action today. Connect today with somebody, okay?
Yes, yes. After you leave this session, take one action step prayerfully towards moving into what God is calling you to do.
Yep. And I will post all links as soon as we're done. I'm not that fancy to finesse things that way, but as soon as we're done, I will post all of the links there for you ladies to go back to this one-stop place to find them. I'm not sure how long this group or this event will be up and posted up here. So you want to grab it today. You can always go to Stay on the Vine, the group, or you can go to Christian Women. Is it Christian Women Leading?
Christian Women Leading in Life.
Yep.
And Jacqueline,
Leading in Life.
When we're finished, I'm going to also put some of the links I mentioned, but I'm also going to move this to my YouTube channel, Value What Matters on YouTube, so you will have
Beautiful.
access to it, and I'll put some of the links under there. Now, I want to encourage
Okay.
you, if you thought this session
Thank
was
you.
good, I want you to come back next
Better
month.
come back.
I want you to come back next month. I'm going to have another guest, and we're going to have another conversation so that we can really position to ourselves to lead the life that
Yeah.
God is calling us to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Mwah! It has been
Thank
a pleasure. It's
you.
been a joy. I hope it has been beneficial to you. And see you real soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.